Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now, onto the latest news. A warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail. The streets around Parkhead are buzzing tonight. And if you've been anywhere near the green and white half of Glasgow, you'll know exactly why. Word has broken that Luis Munteanu, the highly rated Romanian striker, is about to pull on the famous Celtic shirt. Now, let's be honest. Celtic supporters have been crying out for a proper number 9 who not only knows where the net is, but who carries that edge, that presence defenders hate to face. And suddenly, out of nowhere, Brendan Rodgers has delivered a name that not many expected. This isn't just some rumor plucked from thin air. This has been whispered for weeks in certain circles, and now it feels very much real. Munteanu, the lad who cut his teeth at Viitorul Constanța before being snapped up by Fiorentina, is a player who has been spoken of as the next big Romanian star. At only 21 years of age, he already looks like a man who plays with the hunger of someone 10 years older. And what Celtic fans are dreaming of tonight is that he could be the new cult hero, a figurehead for the Rodgers era Mark II. When you dive into Munteanu's career so far, it reads like the script of a footballer destined to find the limelight at a historic club. He made his professional bow in 2019 as a fresh-faced teenager, just 17 years old, for Viitorul Constanța, and from the moment he stepped onto the pitch, there was a sense of purpose in his game. A year later, Fiorentina came knocking, and you don't get bought by a Serie A side at that age without serious talent in your boots. Even though his time in Italy wasn't the fairy tale many had imagined, every setback seemed to carve a harder edge into him. He moved on to CFR Cluj, and that's where he began to find consistency, showing glimpses of the predatory instincts that Celtic fans love in their strikers. Rodgers is no fool. He wouldn't bring a player across unless he believes there's something special there. And right now, with the Scottish Premiership wide open and European nights beckoning, Celtic need that extra spark. The timing of this move couldn't feel more dramatic. Rangers have been sniffing around potential forward signings of their own, trying to patch up their attack after a sluggish start, but Celtic have swooped first. That sense of striking decisively in the transfer market always energizes the support. Fans are already painting banners with his name, already talking about how he could fit into the side alongside Kyogo, or whether Rodgers might even tweak his formation to make the most of both. Think about it. The combination of Munteanu's power and directness with Kyogo's movement and finesse could be devastating in the league. And then, when those European qualifiers roll around, Celtic need options, need unpredictability, need firepower. Munteanu offers exactly that, and suddenly the mood music around Celtic Park is thumping. Every new signing comes with a dose of hope, but some names just land differently, and Munteanu is one of those. He's not a journeyman. He's a prospect with the potential to ignite. And you can be sure Rodgers will already be picturing how to polish him into a weapon. You can sense that Brendan Rodgers wanted a signing like this to make a statement. The Northern Irishman has spoken in recent months about rebuilding not just the squad but the mentality, the hunger, the belief that Celtic can punch above their weight on the European stage. Bringing in a young, fearless striker from Eastern Europe echoes some of the club's most iconic past deals, when unknown or underestimated talents became legends in green and white. Supporters are recalling memories of Henrik Larsson arriving with doubters circling, only to become the king of kings. Now, of course, it's unfair to saddle a lad of 21 with that level of expectation, but you can't help but feel echoes of history here. Rodgers knows Celtic fans live for these bold gambles, and he also knows that if Munteanu explodes onto the scene, the narrative changes completely. Suddenly, instead of worrying about losing ground to Rangers or failing to impress in Europe, Celtic supporters will be talking about a golden boy leading them into a new chapter. This isn't just a transfer, it's a statement of intent. But let's not sugarcoat it. Munteanu will have to adapt quickly. The Scottish Premiership is a bruising environment, far from the technical chess matches of Serie A or the familiar turf of Liga I. He'll be up against towering center-halves on freezing nights in Motherwell and scrappy challenges on tight pitches in Paisley. That's the test that will separate him from being just another continental import to becoming a true Celtic striker. Yet, if you've watched him closely, you'll know he isn't afraid of the physical side. He throws his body in, he fights for every inch, and that's exactly what wins over Celtic supporters. Add to that his eye for goal and his knack of drifting into the right positions at the right moment, and you've got the makings of someone who could light up Scottish football. Rodgers will back himself to toughen him up, to refine those instincts, and to build him into a forward who can handle the derby intensity, the pressure, and the expectation. If he succeeds, Celtic may just have landed their most exciting attacking prospect in years. For the fans, though, it's all about the romance of the unknown. Every time a new striker arrives at Celtic Park, there's that flicker of imagination. Could he be the one to deliver magical European nights, to score the winner against Rangers, to carve his name into the folklore of a club that thrives on heroes? Lewis Munteanu represents more than a signing. He's a dream stitched into reality. From Romania to Italy, from Cluj to Glasgow, it feels like a journey scripted for drama. Nobody knows exactly how it'll pan out, but that uncertainty is the thrill. Rodgers has rolled the dice, and now the Celtic faithful are waiting to see if fortune favors them. The banners are being prepared, the chants are being rehearsed, and all eyes are fixed on Parkhead. A new chapter is opening, and in the heart of it is a young striker who carries the hopes of thousands. That's football in Glasgow, relentless, passionate, unforgiving. And tonight, the name on everyone's lips is Munteanu. Inside the pubs and supporters' clubs, the conversation is looping around the same point. Where exactly does Rodgers plan to slot Munteanu into this team? Some insist he's being brought in to lead the line straight away, to put pressure on Kyogo, and to give the squad a fresh focal point. Others are whispering that Rodgers sees him as a versatile weapon, someone who can float wide, cut inside, and terrorize fullbacks with pace and aggression. And then there's the chatter about his development, whether the club intends to give him minutes gradually, easing him into the pace of Scottish football while letting him soak up the culture of Celtic Park. Whatever the tactical plan, there's no denying that Munteanu brings a profile Celtic haven't had in years. He's young, hungry, technically sharp, and still a little raw around the edges. That's what excites Rodgers, because it means the coaching staff can shape him, mold him into the striker they need for the long haul. And deep down, supporters love nothing more than watching a raw talent evolve right in front of their eyes, season after season, until he becomes their own. If you scroll through social media right now, you'll see the frenzy building at breakneck speed. Clips of Munteanu's goals for Cluj are being shared on repeat, slow-motion replays of him cutting across defenders, burying the ball with ruthless accuracy. Fans are comparing him to past Celtic forwards, debating whether his style matches the grit of Hartson, the flair of Dembele, or even the ruthlessness of Sutton. It's wild how quickly hope snowballs in Glasgow. But that's the culture, that's the energy that comes alive whenever Celtic sign a striker. And you can sense Munteanu himself will feel that weight as soon as he steps off the plane. Every touch, every movement in training will be scrutinized. Rodgers knows the environment, and he'll shield the lad from the madness as best he can. But at the same time, there's no escaping it. This is Celtic, where heroes are made fast and forgotten faster. That's why the whispers of his arrival have people glued to their screens, waiting for the official confirmation, waiting for the club's media team to hit that button and unleash the announcement with green smoke and fireworks. Behind closed doors, insiders are suggesting this deal took weeks of delicate negotiation. Cluj were reluctant to part ways with their star forward, but Celtic's persistence eventually broke the deadlock. Rodgers himself is said to have made direct calls, underlining his commitment to the player, convincing him that Glasgow was the perfect stage to take the next step in his career. And let's not underestimate how important that personal touch is. Players at Munteanu's age crave belief, crave the sense that they're more than just another name on a transfer list. Rodgers has built his reputation on nurturing young talent, and that promise would have been central in getting Munteanu to choose Celtic over other potential suitors. Because make no mistake, there were others sniffing around. Whispers from Italy and Germany suggested interest, but it's Celtic who have moved with conviction. And that's why this story feels so electric. It's not just about money or opportunity. It's about Rodgers laying the foundation for his long-term vision. He wants Celtic to be known as the club where young talent thrives, and Munteanu is his flagship move. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel, and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Of course, skeptics will ask the hard questions. Can a striker who has yet to fully dominate in Romania or Italy really handle the pressure cooker that is Celtic Park? Will he adapt quickly enough to be useful in the big games, especially with Rangers breathing down Celtic's neck and Europe demanding sharper edges? The Scottish game has a long history of chewing up and spitting out players who arrived with fancy resumes but couldn't handle the grit. Yet, in the same breath, it's also the place where unpolished gems have risen into icons. That's what makes this such a gamble, and fans wouldn't have it any other way. Football thrives on uncertainty, on the thrill of not knowing whether this lad will sink or soar. Rodgers will be banking on his coaching, his system, and the culture of the dressing room to pull Munteanu into the Celtic mold quickly. And if it clicks, if the Romanian finds his rhythm, the critics will be silenced in a heartbeat. That's the knife-edge Celtic supporters are perched on right now, equal parts cautious and deliriously optimistic. What makes this rumor so intoxicating is that it fits perfectly into the narrative Celtic fans love to believe in. The story of a boy from Eastern Europe, overlooked by bigger clubs, stepping onto the hallowed grass of Parkhead and writing himself into history. It's a tale as old as football itself, but in Glasgow it carries a special weight. Supporters aren't just investing in goals and assists, they're investing in personality, in the spark of someone who might connect with them on a deeper level. Munteanu, with his sharp jawline and fearless energy, already looks like a figure who could carry that aura. Fans imagine him roaring after a derby goal, imagine him clutching the badge under the lights on a European night. And that's why even before he signs, even before he kicks a ball, he feels like a Celtic striker. Rodgers and the board have tapped into something raw and emotional, and in doing so, they've reignited belief that the future is bright. No spreadsheet or stat could measure that, but you can feel it in the air. So, as the hours tick by and the anticipation builds, Glasgow is holding its breath. The noise outside Celtic Park is already deafening, and it's only going to grow once the official word drops. Munteanu represents the unknown, the promise of glory wrapped in the risk of disappointment. But that's what football fans live for, especially here. Rodgers knows that if this move comes good, it'll define his second stint in charge, setting the tone for a new generation of Celtic football. The supporters, meanwhile, are ready to dream again. From the first time he steps onto the grass, whether it's in a league clash at home or under the European floodlights, the scrutiny will be merciless, the expectations towering. But if he delivers, even just a glimpse of magic, his name will be etched into the songs sung from the stands. Celtic have rolled the dice, and Glasgow is braced for the drama. The Munteanu era is about to begin, and nobody knows how it ends. And that's exactly why it feels so thrilling. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.